Amaran, the more prosumer cousin of lighting brand Aputure, introduced their Amaran 150c, 150 watt, and 300c, 300 watt lights at NAB 2023 with a splash. For those who don't need or use DMX, the 150c and the 300c offer many impressive features at fantastic price points. $569 for the 300c and $359 for the 150c. Hi, I'm Grant Sheldon and welcome to CineD.com. Let's start with a quick note about my general perspective. DMX connectivity is mandatory on the projects I work on, so perhaps I haven't given the Amaran line the attention it deserves over the years. What the Amaran team does provide in the way of DMX is primarily USB-C to 5-pin XLR for select fixtures. This isn't the case with the 150C and 300C since there is no USB-C input. CineD Link, the Bluetooth-based app commonly used to control Amaran and Aputure wirelessly, is also compatible with fixtures using wireless DMX and Lumen radio built in. So, the dividing line between Amaran, no DMX, and Aputure, yes DMX, is a bit grayer these days, and that's fine by me. Amaran products also tend to rely more on plastic components than metal in the case of Aputure. Now, not everyone needs or cares about DMX connectivity, in which case they will be content with the manual controls on the 150C, 300C, or Bluetooth CineD Link control. As the marketing materials note, the Amaran series is specifically aimed at content creators and vloggers. The price points, which are, as I've said, $569 for the 300C and $359 for the 150C US, imply either of these fixtures would be a great first light set for creators of all stripes working primarily inside because of the overall output. Here are a few banner features shared by both the Amaran 150C and the 300C. 360-degree HSI full color control, plus or minus green and magenta adjustment, 9 effects options ranging from fire to TV, built-in umbrella holder, stepless dimming from 0 to 100%. So, what are my initial impressions? The Amaran team sent a review 150C in gray and a 300C in the flashy white exterior configuration that I'm told is a limited edition offering. Cinema equipment is primarily matte black to avoid reflections and to avoid becoming part of the shot itself. BuzzFeed has a great list of equipment and crew that have found their way into the shot on major films, so that's 100% worth a quick Google for a chuckle. Back to the 300C. So the white exterior makes for a particularly flashy option for interviews or intentional on-set production designed looks. The white paint sure looks snazzy, and I'm not immune to cool-looking gadgets. This may be one of the reasons I like writing about cinema technology. One of my quibbles with past Amaran launches was their styrofoam cases. At this price point, you can't expect the excellent semi-rigid cases from the pricier Aputure line. Still, the styrofoam cases were so tight with their internal dimensions that returning the light itself was tricky in the past because there wasn't a lot of flexibility. It only fit one way. And that's that. Now, with the cases for the 150C and 300C, it's easier to pack up. However, if you travel a lot with your lights, I would still suggest changing to a hard case for transport to prevent damage. There are plenty of available third-party case options on the market from brands like Pelican and HPRC. The lamp heads have a curved design with stylish handles for panning, tilting, and carrying. Note that most of the electronics and controls are in the lamp head itself. This is fine if you're using the light close to the ground, but raise this fixture in the air and you either need to lower the stand again to change settings or use CineD Link over Bluetooth. The two rear control knobs serve as an easy way to navigate the settings. A single button press on either knob will either jump between different modes or two presets in the case of classic CCT mode. There's a smoothness to the controls that is also satisfying, as you don't feel like you're jumping past the settings you're trying to hit. In general, the buttons and menu navigation are faster and easier than with the Amaran 200DS, and I hope Amaran continues using this button layout on future fixtures. The dedicated BT reset button, present on other Amaran and Aperture products, is also helpful if you're handing these fixtures off to friends or colleagues for use, as it makes connecting to CineD Link just that much faster. I also enjoy the exterior design of the lamp heads here over previous Amaran Cobb generations. Now, let's talk accessories. The 300C includes a 65-degree reflector, or you have a 90-degree beam angle if you remove the kit reflector and go with the bare bulb. The same included kit reflector on the 150C creates a 63-degree beam angle or an 83-degree beam angle if a reflector isn't attached. Both fixtures use the ubiquitous Bowens S-type mount, the advantage being that the mount opens up a wide range of available first and third-party accessories. Keep in mind that results may vary as accessory manufacturers have designed different accessories with various lights in mind. They won't all be compatible despite using the Bowens S-type. Amaran has created a few accessories designed for the 150C and 300C, specifically the Spotlight SE with a 19-degree and a 36-degree lens available, and Light Dome Mini SE. We took a look at both of these accessories at NAB 2023. You'll find a link to that video in my print review. Having trouble keeping track of what Amaran or Aperture accessories will work with your lights? Me too. In my print review, you'll find the link for a handy chart where you can find compatibility prior to using accessory on your Amaran or Aperture product. So, who are these lights for? As I mentioned previously, Amaran is heavily marketing the 150C and 300C along with the Amaran line itself towards vloggers and content creators. The fast setup time, small size, ease of use, and quiet fan all suggest these would be perfect options for a home studio or even a streamer looking to add a pop of color to a background. If you often stick to CCT mode in your interior work, you'll likely be fine with the Amaran Cobb 200XS with its $349 price tag. In a hypothetical streaming direct-to-computer situation with Bowens softbox, I would choose 3200K for my key light color temp and use the Amaran 150C or 300C for the background intermingled with Amaran SM5C strip LED lights. Add an Aperture B7C bulb and a stylish practical lamp and some fill light, maybe a hair light, and you have a very solid looking studio setup that is all CineD Link connected for fun effects or triggered lighting transitions. I can also envision a standing grid of several dozen Amaran 150Cs in a background of a shot running effects behind key talent in a game show or music video situation. True, the per fixture cost makes this an expensive but hopefully not bank-breaking proposition. The same per fixture cost plus the reliance on plastic makes this an unlikely rental inventory item in my opinion. Aperture 600Cs feel more at home in that environment. A few additional design improvements deserve an added mention here. For one, both fixtures feature an improved silent active cooling system that I'm happy to report is quieter over past Amaran products I've used. The plastic yoke of past Amaran products is gone in favor of a metal yoke. Thank you. The cable locking connectors are another improvement. The head cable and AC cable for the power supply are particularly robust here, especially over the locking barrel connector present in the Amaran Cobb 60X. The power supply of the 150C 300C is held in place by a steel chain that feels like the same material common to most safety chains we use on set. Note that with the 150C and the 300C, you don't get that popular $68 Aperture lighting clamp for connecting the power supply to your stands. The release latch that holds the Bowens accessory in place also feels more rugged on both fixtures, and a simple slide move unlocks any connected Bowens accessory. I would call all these small but meaningful quality of life improvements for the Amaran line as a whole. What about output and Kelvin handling in CCT mode? I went ahead and tested the output using lux and color handling using Kelvin at a distance of 3 feet of both fixtures with my Sekonic C700U spectrometer. Here are my results for the Amaran 300C, starting with a target of 5600K with the kit 65-degree reflector attached. I recorded a fantastic average CRI, covers R1 through R8, of 97.6 for the 300C and 97.7 for the 150C throughout testing. A result of 5,716K is an excellent result for the 5600K target and a good overall result when it comes to Kelvin accuracy. A lux reading, a measurement of output, also expressed above in foot candles of 23,200 lux at 3 feet with the reflector on, is also very close to Aperture's publicized numbers too, which I appreciate. Now for a target of 3,200K. A result of 3,248K is closer to the target of 3,200K when compared to the results at the daylight end of the Kelvin range. Just a minimal drop in output with this target. Okay, now let's take a look at the Amaran 150c with a target of 5,600K and the kit hyperreflector attached. A result of 5,590K is absolutely fantastic for the 150c and even more spot on when compared to the 300c. Now for a target of 3,200K. Also excellent marks for the 150C with a result of 3,183K with the target of 3,200K. Again, an output drop here when compared to the daylight end of the CCT range. Now for a deeper look at the color rendering scores of the Amaran 300C in particular. Overall, these are excellent results with the only exception being blue R12. I was hoping for an R12 measurement in the 80s or 90s, but it does seem common for R12 blue to be a difficult area for many modern LED cob fixtures when I compare my other test scores over time. Okay, now for a couple of final thoughts. The Amaran line with the 150C and 300C is getting better and better. So much better that I wonder whether it might take a bit of the sheen away from comparable Aperture products. Aperture is a new hard light featuring color in the ElectroStorm CS15, and hopefully that will complement the already excellent Lightstorm 600C. Back to these Amaran lights. I do hope Amaran engineers stick with this design for the buttons and the lamp head exterior and handles. Okay, if you're primarily looking at cost savings and you don't need color in your shots, then you might be best served by previous bicolor Amaran products like the Amaran 200XS. On the other hand, the 150C and 300C are a bit more versatile pair of lights that will serve you well as your career progresses, particularly as physical color gels become increasingly scarce. Keep in mind that the 300C doesn't quite have the punch necessary to compete outside on a sunny day, and it won't take many impacts like its pricier Aperture cousins that rely on metal construction. Still, it will be excellent in an interior where ambient light can be controlled. There you have it. That's my review of the Amaran RGB 150C and 300C. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to Rev Studio in San Diego for their help with this review. Go to revstudiosd.com for more info on how to book their beautiful studio space.